We're back with my notebook and we're going over everything over the last 6 years that I have written down for you guys. And this one's helpful for just about anybody. And if you stick around, make sure you hit the 2x right here, hold down, and it will 2x my voice because this is a lot of information we need to get through. So a longer video, but well worth it. So let's just dive into it. So finding your pain points in life. This is something I had to do in order to be successful. So like I said, this goes for anything in life, whether that be your relationship, your job, your health and lifestyle, like fitness, like any of those things, right? So finding those pain points to try to identify them and figure out the lesson that they're actually trying to teach you. So shameless plug really quick though, if you guys want to join me for live trading, we do similar things to these videos every single morning for our TED Talks with the team live. It is up above in my beacons. Once you buy the course, you have access to live trading each and every single morning for New York session. So finding your pain points in life. I have a few things that I had written down. Who are you? Why do you do the things you do? Is it fully because of a trauma response? And noting that everything is reflected in your life. That's why I said, is it your job, your relationships, your health, right? Everything reflects. It's a mirror. Trading will expose who you are on the deepest level because it's going to point out all of those pain points that you continuously do, especially if you're somebody who has very, very bad habits that are not serving you. So when you try to figure out your pain points, these are potentially stemmed obviously from traumatic things that potentially have happened to you, or maybe they don't have to necessarily be traumatic, they just have been things that make you protect yourself. So pain points aren't found by digging up your past, they show up in how you protect yourself today. That's what I have written here. So today, how are you protecting yourself because of things that have either happened to you, traumatic or not, right? So one of the things that I have written here is that, and we'll go through this, independence, strength, and success. What do those all feel like, right? If you are somebody who's independent, when you need help, it feels like asking for help is like almost like sickening, or it hurts. Like you don't want to ask anybody for help. Like you got it. You're a boss ass chick. Like you're good, right? So when you have to like be like, could you help me? It's like cringe. Okay, strength, when we present ourselves with like or portray ourselves like we have all this strength, right? Then in turn, when we rest, right, we're portraying this side of ourselves. When we rest, that's feeling like we're weak, like we're showing weakness when we're actually resting. So then we don't give ourselves space to rest. And then showing up as just like always successful, on, ready to go. When we slow down, that feels like unsafe. Like we don't feel safe when we slow down. Like we need to keep going, keep the train pumping, right? So how do we find these things? Where do they stem from? For me, I wrote down dismissed, unseen, abandoned, controlled, and underestimated. I think this resonates with a lot of people. And this may be something that was either in childhood, relationships, friendships, all of those things. When those things happen to you, you automatically go into preservation protection mode, right? So now you have to start to decode all of those bad habits you potentially have, because these are your pain points that are keeping you stuck. So when we look at patterns, right? Let's talk about patterns first before we talk about decoding. So when we think about patterns and think about like arguments, right? If you have the same exact argument with multiple different people, what is that telling you? On a larger scale, if you're like arguing about something, you know, and you just keep having the same argument. Maybe it's different relationships, maybe it's different friendships, maybe it's a different, you know, job, right? So this ties into the same outcomes, right? So same argument, same outcome. So maybe it's a different job or a different relationship. Ladies, if you have gotten it, or men too, if you've gotten into relationships and ended the relationship multiple times in multiple different relationships for the exact same reason, that's a pain point, Why do you keep doing that, right? Figuring out those pieces. And then same excuse, different year. It's 2026. Let's go, baby. Like, it's time. It's time to figure out what we're doing, right? Stop doing the generational curses. Stop doing things that are not serving you. So now we talk about decoding these behaviors. So when you think about overworking, right? Overworking equals avoiding stillness. I am terrible at this. Overworking and overthinking, because I feel like I can't be still. I want to keep train moving, right? Perfectionism. So when you're trying to think about being perfect, when you're showing up to the gym full glam, full matching outfit, right? That perfectionism is crying out because you don't want to be criticized, right? When you show up to the charts and you want the perfect entry, you want the perfect point value, you want the perfect numeric, like whatever money you made, you want it to be all perfect because you don't want to be criticized by others, right? So you could potentially be blowing up your entire life for that selfie, for that screenshot. And to think about that and put it into perspective, it's like, for what? Quit doing it, right? And then people pleasing. This is a big one for me. People pleasing and overthinking are my main two pain points because I have fear of abandonment. I feel like if I don't people please, people will abandon me. So stop doing that. I am a retired people pleaser now. Now I don't give a shit. We don't care. You want to do what you got to do? Go do it. I'm going to do me still over here. Numbness. This was another one for me. And this is a fear of actually feeling the disappointment. So when you think about relationships and you think about like maybe when your relationship was about to end, right? Did you completely go numb? Yeah, why? Right? Because you didn't want to, you had that fear, right? You didn't want to feel it because you knew it was coming. So you just decided to go numb instead, right? Or if you lose money in the market or you make a bad decision, right? You automatically turn the numbness on so you don't have to feel the disappointment. So what is all of this now? How do you decipher this and understand this? All of these patterns that you continuously do or pain points that you have now found out about yourself, they're all unhealed lessons. So rewiring your brain to understand that everything that's happened to you, everything that you continue to go through, and maybe things aren't working out for you right now, today, you can figure out your pain points, you can understand where they stem from, you can start to decode them, and you can start to build on better behaviors that are going to serve you long term. And you can take everything that you've found and you can rewire, like I said, and make it into a lesson. Okay, well, this didn't work out. What lesson did it teach me? Okay, my trade didn't work out. What lesson did it teach me? Okay, I, wanted the screenshot or I wanted to take the selfie. What lesson did that actually teach me in turn? Maybe it wasted half of your day. You weren't as productive. Like, there's so many different ways that this can stem. And if you guys want more videos like this or want me to keep touching on these pain points, let me know in the comments, but I'm going to stop the video here because this is a ton of information, but all food for thought, all things to think about. These are the key things that I thought about when I wanted to be a profitable trader. I knew I needed to stop creating repetitive behaviors that were not helping me get to the point where I wanted to be. Point A to point B. So let me know what you guys think.